So this video, I'm gonna talk about, you find God when we realize you don't need to seek God, and I'm gonna talk about moving deeply into the now, and I may just throw in a really good story. So really, I celebrate being sober in the present moment because that's all that exists. The only time to get high or drunk or whatever is in the now. So you can't get high or drunk in the past, it don't exist. And you really can't get high or drunk in the future because that doesn't exist. You know, um, so really, so people can't comprehend that. That the past or future don't exist. So you read Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now, and living in the now is truly a power. It's the quickest key to the spiritual realm because in order to actually get the sixth sense, and that's where everything is more colorful and vibrant around you. Everything comes to life. You come to life. You start blooming on the outside and the inside. You begin to know that you're not your mind or your thoughts. You're not your mind. You're not your thoughts. And you can pass into a state like me where you can just stop thinking anytime you want. Anytime. I don't want to think. I got an off button. You know what I mean? So, a lot of things, so people don't think about the past resentments or, I did this or, this happened to me, and a lot of shitty things happened to me my whole life. Shit, man, I'm telling you. I don't look, I go to the same town that maybe, I was on the streets on for a little while, I did some really, really whack-a-mole shit, and I'm not even afraid to share how down and out I really was. I'm not living in the past by any means. I'm just making a video, just for people to watch. And people like hearing me speak. So if I was high on meth, I wasn't living in the past. And now I couldn't remember the past. I couldn't perceive the future because I needed to know if I was gonna have dope or not. It didn't matter. So a lot of things I did, man. Lust was a very big problem for me when I was using. So I go around Greeley now, and anywhere I go in Greeley, I was high there, I was getting lit there, I was doing some shit there, I was boosting, whatever. I live in the now, I'm not even gonna look over there and remember that, everything I can do in my power to not remember that in the power now, do everything I can to just not remember that, because it's there, it happened, it doesn't exist right now, because if I do remember it, I'll probably break down in tears and start crying, really. So there's an alleyway across the street from the AA group I go to sometimes, and I used to sit there and fucking slam dope and masturbate in the fucking alleyway, 2 a.m. Booty call with some workers on the street, whatever. That never really, that stopped working after a while, man. When you combine especially something like methamphetamine and pornography, your fucking dopamine is gone. You're just gone, man. So that's a little bit of my story, and it's hard to not regret the past, so you just live in the now and know the past doesn't exist, and you just don't regret it because it don't exist anymore. So I celebrate being sober in the now, like I said, because the only time to get high or drunk is in the now. The only time anybody ever got high or drunk, or both, was in the present moment. You know what I'm saying? So that's power now, people, I drive now, I got a car, and I'll drive, blasting my music, really having a great time driving because, shit, man, I'm enlightened completely. Enlightenment is a lot more than just peace, that's oneness with yourself, that's knowing God's within you, you don't have to seek Him anymore. Mental clarity, you're not thinking anymore, your body's relaxed, you're always happy and content, and all I really do for that is you can just ask God to rain His enlightenment over you, and just like that, you're enlightened. really, he'll probably do it for you the first time. Even if you don't really have much faith or surrender in that, so it's that simple. You're enlightened, and the music sounds better. Your driving feels better. I'm a grandma driver, always have been, whether I was high or not, or whatever, drunk. So people will just go freaking, oh man, I gotta get where I'm going through. I gotta freaking get this done. I gotta freaking get this, man. I got it. But why don't we change it to, I get to, instead of I fucking have to. You know what I mean? Like, I get to, I get to make these videos, man. I get to not do drugs anymore. I get to live right now, and nobody can say that anybody who is sober will be sober the rest of their lives. That's between them and God. Nobody can say I'll be sober the rest of my life. That's between me and God. It is. Everything is between me and God. A lot of things are between me and Him. So I'm sober now. I'm enlightened now, and the only time to be sober and enlightened and fulfilled is in the now. That's it. But you move deeply into the now. Sometimes I can just drive or do something, rub my fingers a little bit, feel my breath, and I'm in the now, and therefore at peace. Just like He says in the book, The Power of Now. Same shit. I'm doing it. I'm doing what He says, and man, that guy knows what he's talking about. I'll tell you right now. So, the greater the mind tries to fight off the pain, the greater the pain becomes. So that's real. So somebody's got pain in their minds, and they don't know that they're not their mind. They think they're their thoughts, they think they're their mind. So it actually discombobulates the body, makes you heavily uncomfortable. So what somebody will do is the mind actually can't find the solution, or really the source of it, So they'll create more thought patterns to try to find the solution for that thought pattern, which will then ultimately make the pain in the mind worse, way freaking worse. So what do? You wash the thinker. I'm going to try to make this as simple as I possibly can, because I too myself, I have a lot of psychological damage. Everybody thinks because I'm young I ain't damaged my brain. There's permanent damage. I don't care what anybody says. I know my brain, I still get psychosis. I still close my eyes at night and see vivid hallucinations. I still have permanent week. Wake up in the morning, my heart's racing. I can't freaking sit still. But that's how it's meant to be. And if it were meant to be different, it would be. So if anybody has a right to really be miserable and have shit to complain about, it's me. I haven't done my probation requirements until now. I might be facing a little jail time. Really won't be much, but that's just how it's meant to be, man. And if it were meant to be different, it would be. And I'm just gonna live right now, because I don't even gotta worry about that for a few more months. I'm gonna get all that stuff done, obviously. But I don't gotta worry about that for a few more months, dude. So I'm not gonna let that block me from enjoying my present moment life. I'm just not. I refuse. I freaking refuse. It's called watching the thinker. So you watch the thought, and this takes a lot of practice. I've been doing it for like a week now. It takes a lot of practice and time, spiritual malady, spiritual teacher, this is a very spiritual process. You watch that thought, that painful thought, and you just watch it. You don't create any more thought patterns in the mind to fight off that one. You watch it, and in a split second, it'll start to leave. It'll come one after the other. And do it for a while, man, and see what happens. Because if you do that properly, best time to do it is meditating. You lay down, you close your eyes, you meditate, and try it, and see what happens. Really see what happens, dude. It's pretty cool what can happen. If you do it long enough, you'll become completely enlightened, happy, overwhelmingly happy with emotion, just grateful. So if you want to put a double whammy to that shit, man, you want to really go far into the spiritual realm, the godly realm, like I have, Jesus saved my life. But the only time Jesus saves my life is in the present moment. If somebody says Jesus saved my life, they're going to be like, well, He saved the rest of their life. Maybe that's true, but He saved my life right now. Right now is all I can say. right now, I am saved and enlightened by Jesus Christ. And that's real shit. That's real shit. You know, that's real. Damn, I got bad memories sometimes, dude. It's really bad. It is. So yeah, you watch that fought, you know, and you know, eventually you'll. But if you want to do, yep, I know the Golden Goose combo. I was gonna talk about it. If you really want to heal those thoughts, man, I mean, you pray, and you think about the thought, and you ask God to heal it, and a faith and surrender prayer, and you say, God, I humbly offer you the pain of this thought. Can't do this on my own. And He'll take it from me. You know, and I'm not lying. I'm living proof of that working. I'm literally, I'd be fucking out there getting goofy if it wasn't for some of this stuff that I do. You know, I'm serious. I mean, I ain't gonna be miserable without drugs, you know, it sucks. And let's go back to it. You know, everything, you know. So you combine those two things together, and God will heal them from you. They may creep up sometimes, so when they do, and God healed them, you'll get this kind of gleam in your heart whenever you think about it. This gleam, you know, of mercy and grace from Jesus. And then you don't fight it off. You know, because the greater the mind tries to fight off the pain, the greater the pain is going to become. You know what I mean? So that's there for you. I mean, take it, do it if you want. See what happens. Really, it's really not that difficult to do. I mean, I think I explained it pretty well, man. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, let it go. Do it all day, as much as you can, and see what happens. Because that does work, and I've been still doing it now. Not right now, I ain't having that right now, but. So, another thing Eckhart Tolle says is, you find God the moment you realize you don't need to seek God. You know, so a lot of people I meet, you know, they'll go to Bible studies, they'll go to church, they'll read the Bible, they'll do all this stuff trying to seek what they already have, which is happiness, salvation, and enlightenment. They just have to let God in because He's there to awaken all that, you know, because real growth only comes in isolation with God. You know, so Alan Watts said, growth comes in isolation. I said, growth comes in isolation with God. You know, it does. So, you know, God's within everybody. You know, He's always there. You know, so you don't really gotta seek God, man. I mean, everybody thinks, you know, I gotta read the Bible, I gotta go to church, man. I got it, but I get to read the Bible. I get to go to church. I get to no longer seek God because I know it's within me. You know, also I found enlightenment the moment I realized I didn't need to seek enlightenment because I didn't need to look for what I already have, which is that. I just had to let God in and know I didn't need to seek Him anymore, and there you go. Now I'm enlightened just like that, man. I mean, I go on, so sometimes I'll see what I can do. I'll go on a freaking full-on peace, live happy and free, enlightened bender. The longest one I ever had was a couple months, you know, before that pain seeped into my mind. And I told you how I got rid of it. I told you how I did it. So I just share the knowledge. I share the truth. You know, and living in the now is a power people don't do, you know, because they seem to think they were taught wrong. You know, I consider myself to be a spiritual teacher at this point, really. I mean, but people have got to want what they already have if they want to talk to me, you know, because right now, I mean, I'm at complete freaking peace, dude, just absolute complete peace. I told you a bunch of shit I could complain about, you know, but that's how it's meant to be, and if it were meant to be different, then it would be. You know, I ain't gonna go get goofy over it, man. That goofy shit don't work on me anymore. You know, I passed into a state with meth and alcohol where I couldn't get enough in my body. No matter how much dope I slam in 2 grams, you know, even more than that, you know. Drinking a handle a day, you know, I couldn't actually get drunk or high anymore. Didn't work. Even the porn and the sex, nothing happened. You know, so when it stops working, you know, you keep doing it because you don't know any other way. But the only way to find another way past drugs is to give your life to Jesus and become enlightened 24/7 as I have, you know. So, that's that spiel right there. I mean, you find God the moment you realize you don't need to seek God, you know, because He's within us all. You know, it could just be a simple prayer, you know, please God, rain your peace over me. 30 minutes later, it'll happen, as long as you got faith in God and surrender in that prayer, you'll feel it. You'll be at complete peace. So people do that one time and they'll fail to enlarge it. I go throughout my day praying a lot. Grab my cross, praying, peace and light reign over me, peace and light reign over people I love. God, put your armor in my mind, please. Heal those thoughts I was having. Put me deeply into the now. So I pray for God to put me in the now. That's the way to do it, man, because I can't do this on my own, man. I did not get sober in the Wednesday. I was beyond that, cognitively freaking fried, and there's no way I could ever get sober in the Wednesday, man. I was beyond. And that's bad, man. I don't meet a lot of people that couldn't get sober in the rooms. We the saved are all in one. You get what I'm saying? And alone equals all one, all one in yourself, man, so just don't see God, know He's there, and once you know He's there, the contact becomes much greater, promise you that. So I'll tell a little bit of a story, man. People do like hearing my stories, man, and I've had this moment healed in a meditation, looking within, meditating, ask God to heal it, so I'm not gonna cry telling this one, I hope. It might give me a little bit of emotional displacement and spiritual experience feeling, which is good. So this is the worst psychosis episode I ever had. And I've had many, bro, believe me. I spent years straight, and it's method of psychosis. Just constantly on edge, constantly hallucinating, constantly hearing shit, constantly paranoid, man. But somebody would be like, man, why would people want to do that? Because I didn't know any other way, man. I didn't know what else there was. Every once in a while, God would show you mercy in those times and rain His peace over me to keep me from killing myself. That's real shit, man. I know what I hear. Amen, Trent. Very true. So, it was. I was coming back from my plug's house. I was walking down to the homeless shelter level. By this time, I've been awake for about 6-7 days, drinking, getting high. So I've shared this one before. On the way back, a big white beam of light came over the sky, man, and God, Jesus showed Himself to me right then and there, man. That usually doesn't happen to people unless they're just incredibly hopeless, man. They got nothing left, mentally, physically, nothing, So Jesus will show Himself to people like He did me if He sees their pain is greater than anybody's in the world at that point in time. And I'm not even joking about that. That's a real shit. And I'm not boasting, I'm not saying, oh man, no. Just telling a story, man. So, in that moment, that breath, all fears fell from me. I may have had beliefs in becoming saved, but I got saved there. And threw all my drugs away. And my alcohol spilled on the ground, smashed that shit. That's the power of Jesus right there. Fuck, man. Went to the homeless shelter, and so I was gonna start going for DTs, alcohol withdrawal. I had DTs for years, really. At a young age, DTs, seizures for fucking years. A lot of people, they go into that state, man, and it's life or death. You keep drinking, you're gonna die. If you stop drinking, you're gonna die. My DTs were so bad, dude. Man, they were bad. So I went to the shelter, and things started getting a little weird, man. I was looking around me. I was pretty sure I would have been green lighted, which means you're gonna die on the street. Somebody's gonna come kill you. Because that morning I actually had been robbed like an 8-ball, about 5 grams of shit. Somebody fucking took it from me from my pants while I was sleeping. I was on top of my cock and it fucking boom. I woke up with fucking really. I try to put just a little bit of humor if I can. This is bad. So that morning, I just started walking around the streets, man, just fuck, shit, fuck, just like that, just fuck. That really is loud. I was like, fuck, shit, these fuckers took my fucking dog. Really. So people don't like that, man. You're walking around there, psychotic, fucking screaming, people are gonna want to green light you, man. I'm serious. So that's why I couldn't really get moving out there very well, because I just got crazy, man. Like fucking a week or 2 months straight out there, man. I was fucking already, getting green lighted, basically. So I don't even know. I don't think I was actually green lighted, but people did not appreciate that. I promise you that. So that night, I remember that moment. I was like, "Fuck, dude, they're gonna come kill me, man. You know, I gotta fucking hide out." And this guy came up to me, and I saw him over across from me, just doing this wave thing. You know, at cars around me or something. You know, I thought he was signaling that I was there to come kill me. You know, and so I full-fledged fucking really thought that I was gonna die that night, fucking 100%. And I was just like, man, this is gonna be it, man. I don't care. I'm ready. Take me. You know, he came over there and just asked me for a cigarette. I was like, here you go, man. And I was like, okay, cool, man. So that night, bro, I mean, fucking dude. So I started hearing footsteps outside. Just footsteps. Boom, 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 boom. Get the shotgun. I could really, in my head, I heard people like, shh, get the shotgun ready. Trent's in there, kill him. Real shit, you know, just footsteps pounding on in my fucking head. Shotgun. So every time the heater would turn off, I'd think they were turning it off so they could come in there and fucking shoot my ass, bro. I'd see flashlights peeking in the windows, people, dark demonic spiritual eyes, real like looking like demons, peeking in there, seeing if I was there. And I sat there all night just fucking feared out. It was the longest night of my life, dude. I'm pretty sure I was gonna freaking die. I was actually ready to die. I would get up sometimes in the middle of the night, you know. This only went on like 4 or 5 hours, man. So I get up in the middle of the night. You know, I'm going for DTs, methanoid psychosis, the atomic mosh pit. That's what I used to call that. It was the atomic freaking mosh pit, dude. So that's DTs and methanoid psychosis at the same time, the atomic mosh pit. You know, you gotta have that a lot to give it a name, like I did. You know, it was bad. So I got up eventually, dude, and I would just peek outside, you know, I wouldn't see nobody, there'd be nobody there. Like, what the fuck, who's you motherfuckers? Sit back down, they'd start boom, 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 get the really could hear guns out there, man. I was in the game at some points in my life, you know, I've walked around with guns, you know, I've been shot at, you know, I've been in shootouts, you know, it's real shit, man. I'm never in a gang, you know, but, you know, I still had my fair share of selling drugs and being threatened, and never got fully beat up, you know. A few times I've been hit, you know, but never anything serious. So I got up and I went and talked to the homeless shelter people. I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure there's people coming to get me right now, dude. I fucking got some jaywalking charges on my fucking phone, dude. I don't even know who the hell I am, where am I at. You know, I've been up for a fucking week straight. And I was just telling him, man, I was like, man, I want to go back to detox. I want to get my life together again, man. I can't take this anymore, just straight crime, bro. Oh, I can't do this, man. I can't do this drug shit. Man, I can't take it. You know, so it's easy to forget the pain and humiliation of even a week or a month ago, because even after that moment, I got off the streets and detox. I was right back on the streets in Garden City, Greeley, because I forgot about the pain and humiliation. And even then, I didn't know any other way besides this night. That was all I knew. And so, to hallucinate like that, you know, and have that happen, that is a severe loss of brain cells and dopamine. That is like your shit's just gone, man. There's nothing up there, bro. I mean, that right there, that's permanent damage. 7 days, 10 days awake, you know, all that dopamine, all that, that's right there. You know, I know a thing or two about dope and psychosis, and right there, that's freaking, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, that your brain's never gonna be the same after that shit, man. So they would just send me back, tell me nobody could get in there, man. I'd come back into that room, man, still hearing them, man. Get the guns ready, bro. Get the guns ready, man. The body giving out. And living in an alternate reality with the most upholding, powerful desire to stop using meth became of no avail. That purgatory state arrives in every case long before the user suspects it. You know, it's for reasons yet not enlarged. I had lost the power of choice in meth completely. You know, no matter what was going on, no matter what was happening, bro. I didn't have none. You know, I actually had about a gram in my sock. I forgot about it at the time. I'm glad I didn't find it, because so that just went on all night, and then it finally reached a point, bro, where I got up and just started talking to the hallucination. I was like, you fuckers, come in here and shoot me, man. Fucking shoot me, motherfucker. Really? So the guy sleeping next to me was like, what the fuck is wrong with this dude, man? This guy's fucking gone, man. I was. So I was like, just fucking come in here, fucking shoot me, man. I'm serious. This is real. You know, so I telling him, man, I was ready to die, bro. I was like, just fucking put a bullet in my head. I don't care anymore, really. I was ready to die. You know, I really was. So they never showed up. I sat down, eventually laid down, and last thing I saw that night was a freaking gun peek through that window. Real fucking looking gun, and hallucination gun. I saw it peek over at me, and I was like, well, I guess this is it. And then it faded off into dust. I can still see that right now. I can visualize that. So then I looked over at the right, and I hallucinated this like demon looking motherfucker. You're just this pale, scarred up, you know, everything looking at him. I can still see what that thing looked like, you know. So then I fell asleep. You know, it wasn't until months later when I asked God, you know, what was that demon looking thing? And he was like, Trent, that was you when you were 19, or when you were on dope, you know, 16, 17, 18, 19, you know, whatever it might have been. You know, that was what you looked like, and that's who you were going to become again, man, because it was God showing me, you know, really what was going on, man. I mean, so that story, bro, I mean, it was after that I got up the next day. You know, I didn't do any shit for a couple of days. I went to detox, went to sober living, and it wasn't even 3 days in that sober living. I was back on the streets of Garden City, Greeley, getting pickled. So it's progressive, man, and the only way to get restored sanity after something like that happening is to give your life to Jesus and accept spiritual help, man, because that was bad. I mean, you know. But there you go. I mean, that's another video about 30 minutes long. That's a cool thing right there. You know, so a lot of people, you know, I'll talk a little bit about this. So people will take other people's inventories, man. They will assume something about somebody's past they don't know nothing about. You know, they'll assume how they're doing when that's actually just between them and God. You know, I only live through my eyes. You know, I don't pay attention to anybody else's actions, trumps, whatever anybody else is doing. I don't care. I only see through my eyes. So why do I need to perceive what they're doing and feel some kind of pain over it when I only see through my eyes? You know, I don't take nobody's inventory. I don't judge nobody anymore. I'm one with myself, completely enlightened and at peace. Basically 24/7 at this point, man. So I'm going on another enlightenment, peace, salvation bender with Christ's help. And that's all real shit, man. So, you know, everything's pretty simple. You know, split stuff apart in the beginning of this video. And the only reason I didn't cry during that story is literally because I looked within a while back and I asked God to heal that from me. So it's been healed. You know, and that's the power of Jesus. I passed.